The first snow fell early that year. Hannah Miller, a 42-year-old wildlife photographer from Seattle, stepped out of her cabin near Kenai Lake, holding a camera and a thermos of coffee. She came here every winter to escape, to disconnect from the noise, and to capture the wild creatures few ever see up close. On the third day of her retreat, early in the morning, as the twilight began to lift, she saw a silhouette at the edge of the forest, a massive moose. An old bull, with sprawling antlers, slowly made his way through the young trees. She froze. These animals usually kept their distance from humans, but this one, it seemed to be walking straight toward her. He was emaciated and limping on a front leg. When he stopped just 30 meters away, Hannah noticed his chest rising with a rasping breath. Her heart pounded. This wasn't just a wild animal, this was a creature in distress. She slowly raised her camera, took a few shots, but then lowered it. Something in his gaze, in that silent plea, wouldn't let her stay a bystander. The moose lay down in the snow, right in front of her cabin. All day he didn't move, only occasionally lifting his head and glancing toward the door, as if he knew someone was inside. Hannah, unable to just watch, contacted a local wildlife volunteer via satellite radio. After a couple of hours, he called back. If he's limping and breathing hard, he may have a torn wound or a parasite in the respiratory tract. But getting close now is risky. Wait, watch, and if it gets worse, call for help. That night, she barely slept. She listened to the wind rattling the walls and flinched every time she thought she might stop hearing the moose's heavy breathing. By morning, he was still there. Snow had covered his back, and next to him stood a small creature, a calf, a tiny, long-legged baby with wide eyes. Hannah froze as she realized this wasn't a bull. This was a cow, a mother with her calf, and then everything made sense. Hannah carefully stepped outside, hands in front of her. She spoke aloud, slowly, trying not to look the animal in the eyes. The cow moose slowly lifted her head, but didn't react aggressively. Hannah approached a few more steps and saw blood dripping from a nostril and one leg bent at an unnatural angle, likely a fall on ice or a trap left behind by hunters. Another satellite call. The Northern Wildlife Rescue Team was overloaded, but they promised to send a mobile clinic the next morning. "You have to hold on," Hannah whispered, sitting 10 meters from the moose. "Please." The next hours she spent outside, bringing water, shredded apples, and soft vegetables. The calf ate cautiously. The mother didn't touch the food. At one point, the calf came closer, sniffed her boot curiously, and lay down at his mother's feet. That night, the temperature dropped to 18 to 4C, 0 to 4F. Hannah didn't go inside. She wrapped herself in a sleeping bag, sat at the window with a view of the moose, and turned on her camera's night recording. At 3 a.m., the mother moose slowly rose. She took 2 shaky steps and collapsed. At dawn, the veterinarians arrived. 2 of them she knew personally, kind, rugged, exhausted people. They examined the cow, administered a sedative, and went to work. Old fracture, inflammation, internal bleeding. Right next to the cabin, they performed a simple procedure, applied supports, and hooked up a portable IV. But while the mother moose was sedated, something happened that Hannah would never forget. The calf walked up to her and leaned in. He simply pressed his head against her shoulder and stayed like that, breathing softly. Hannah wrapped her arms around him and cried for the first time in a long while from exhaustion, fear, and overwhelming tenderness. They stabilized the mother. She and the calf were transported to a rehabilitation center in the southern part of the state. Hannah watched them go, standing ankle-deep in snow. 3 months passed. In spring, she got a call. The mother had recovered, the calf was strong, and both were ready to return to the wild. That same day, standing in the very spot where it all began, Hannah saw them again. They stood on the forest's edge, calm, silent. The mother was stronger now, no longer bandaged, and the calf stepped forward again. And once more, just for a moment, gently pressed his nose into her palm, as if saying goodbye, as if saying thank you.